Alright, in this video I'm going to introduce to you the final chord that you're going to learn in this course. The E chord. It's not the final chord that you'll ever learn because beyond this there are tons of bar chords and other interesting shapes that you can make as chords. But for this course now you've learned pretty much all the beginner chords, and after this it goes up to more advanced beginner. So, the E chord. Remember this D shape that we talked about, where we had pointer, middle, ring finger all on the 2nd fret? If you change the fingering of that to middle finger, ring finger, pinky, I'll give you a close-up. So we're just changing the fingering of that D chord we already know to middle finger, ring finger, and pinky. Slide all that up to the 4th fret, and then put your pointer finger on the 2nd fret of that A string, and then you have the E chord. Now, the D shape, when you move it to this position, now it's what's called a movable chord. Meaning you can move it to other positions. If this is E, this is F, this is F sharp. We talked about the order of notes in the very beginning when we talked about tuning. So if you follow that order of notes all through the alphabet, and then accounting for the fact that E and F and B and C are only 1 fret apart and everything else has a sharp, then you can move this chord around to make a lot of different chords. So this is E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, etc. So we also talked in the other video about making the D shape as a bar chord, and that was more challenging because obviously bar chords are just more challenging. So I'm gonna refresh your memory about the barred D and show you how you can take that shape and make it into a barred E. So the barred D chord, remember you're gonna lay your finger across the 2nd fret, add your pinky on the 5th fret, and you have barred D. If I take that same shape and I move it up 2 frets, now I have barred E. Similar to this one, the only thing that's different is that very melody note, that highest note that you're playing. So if you play E this way, you get this note as your melody note. And if you play it this way, you get this high E as your melody note. So as always, I give you options, but it's up to you to figure out what's in your comfort zone. Some people really like to bar and they're good at it. Other people hate it and they'll avoid it like the plague. So whoever you are as a player, you know, just choose which way you want to fret your chord, and that's how you'll do it for now. And later on, you might want to experiment with other ways, but for now, keep it as simple as you need. I am going to be demonstrating everything in the upcoming sections with the E played like this, just so you know. As always, when we learn a new chord, we're just going to do some exercises and chord progressions to apply it to some of the other chords that we already know. So this new chord E isn't going to fit with a lot of the previous chords like C and G and F, because E is in a key that has a lot of sharps. And when you have a lot of sharps, you have a lot of bar chords. So we haven't learned a lot of the other chords that are going to really go well with E. But E will fit very nicely with the A chord and the D chord, which we learned previously. So I'm just going to give you a couple of chord progressions to practice with A and D and E. So chord progression number 1 is going to go A to D, A to E. So again, you just want to practice your fingers going to those shapes. And here's a little hint to a little tip. I'm going to do a close-up. You can go like this. So going from this A to this D shape, fingering it this way, and then doing that, see how that's like a big, you have to turn everything upside down? But if you get in the practice of playing your D chord like this, and then going to the E, see how all I had to do was slide that over. So sometimes you just want to think of the anticipation of what chord you're playing and where you're going to next, and what is going to be the best fingering for that maneuver. All right, so here's chord progression number 1. 1, 2, here we go. So A, 2, 3, 4, D, 2, 3, 4, A, 2, 3, 4, E, 2, 3. So in the next section, I'll break that one down with a metronome so that you can have better practice with that one, more focused practice, I should say. So the next chord progression, we're going to go A, D, E, D. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. A, 2, 3, 4. D, 2, 3, 4. E, 2, 3, 4. D, 2, 3, 4. A, 2, 3, 4. D, 2, 3, 4. E, 2, 3, 4. D, 2, 3, 4. A. I'll have metronome play-alongs in the next section so you can focus on that and practice that with good time. And the two songs we're going to use to apply this chord are going to be Wild Thing and Blue Suede Shoes. So Wild Thing has 2 sections. It's going to go, the main part of the song is A, D, D, E, E, D, D, A, D, D, E, E, D, D. That's the chorus. Then the verse is just going to go G, A, G, A, G, A, G, A. And those are the 2 parts to the whole song. So the rhythm you can do is 1, 2, 3, and 4. 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 Down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, down. And then the other one is just back and forth. So I'm going to put those 2 parts together, but in the next section, of course, I'm going to break all this down and, we'll work on the rhythm separately. We'll work on the 2 sections separately. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Wild thing, you make my heart sing. You make everything groovy. Wild thing. Wild thing, I think I love you. But I wanna know for sure. Come on, hold me tight. I love you. Wild thing. You make my heart sing. You make everything groovy. So I'll do a breakdown of that one in the next section. And then we will also do Blue Suede Shoes, which is going to be 8th notes, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. Some breaks, but the chords are just going to be A and D and E. So 1, 2, 3. Well, it's 1 for the money and 2 for the show. 3 to get ready now. Go, cat, go, but don't you step on my blue suede shoes. You can do anything but lay off of my blue suede shoes. Well, you can knock me down, step in my face, slander my name all over the place. Well, you can do anything that you wanna do, but honey, lay off of them shoes now, don't you step on my blue suede shoes. Well, you can do anything but lay off of them blue suede shoes. So I'll do a fuller breakdown of that one in the next section, and so you can play along with the metronome and all those good things. So we're kind of we're coming to the end of our little course here. And so all these chords that you've learned are the basic beginner campfire chords that you'll find in most songs that are in easy keys to play. Once you start getting into the harder keys, then you're going to start learning bar chords and other shapes and ways to twist your fingers around. So hopefully, you know, in your practice routine, you're getting a good regimen of rhythm and strumming, chords and transitions, applying it to music, and also some good practice in dexterity and playing melodies and technique. So that's really what this course has been about, and hopefully you're getting a lot out of it in that way. In the conclusion, I'll talk about ways that you can further your studies from a beginner to a more advanced beginner into intermediate. We'll talk about all of that. So I'll see you at the next one.